Fermenting tempeh in Germany is pretty complicated, and you can just buy a box that's ready to use for like multiple €100 that is controlling the temperature correctly and the heat. But you know me, I rather spend hundreds of euros experimenting tons of time and building it myself. Let me show you my fermenting box. So this is the prototype number 1, and I would like to walk you through how I build it, what is in there, and how do I control the whole temperature, fan and everything else. We need the brain. So I am using the ESP32-C3 Mini. Why? Because it's crazy cheap. You get it for like 2 to 3 euros a piece, and they're pretty reliable. They have enough pinouts. So yeah, mostly because it's just dirt cheap. Then we want to see the temperature, the humidity and everything else. So we use an OLED display to display the whole data and the current timer. Then we want to run the fan and the heater on more than 5 volts. So that's why I bought a USB-C converter that's outputting 12 volts depending on what you set it, but you can control it to different outputs. So here you can see 5, 9, 12, 15 and 20 volts. We want to work with 12 or 9 volts. Then we use a fan. I just bought like a random 12 volt fan. They are also quite cheap, so you get them for like 2 to 3 euros. Since we want to run the ESP as well from the same voltage, we need to have a step down basically. Then we have a heating pad to obviously heat up the room or the box. We also need some input, right, to control the temperature as well as the humidity or set the desired target value. So that's why I am using a rotary encoder. As next we use a DHT11, so this one shows the temperature as well as the humidity, and we will use it as input for the ESP32, and that's also pretty cheap, as you can see, €1, and it works on I²C. And last but not least, we use an MOSFET. This one we use to control the heater as well as the fan, because they both work on 12 volts, but the Arduino works on 3 to 5 volts, and we don't want to mess with that, so we just use a MOSFET. Alright, but then let's put it all together. First of all, we control the heater and the fan with PWM. Let me show you what PWM is and how does it work. Let's take a look how PWM works. So what we have is basically on the x-axis the time, and on the y-axis we have 1 and 0. So 1 and 0, the 1 stands for it is on, and the 0 is for it is off. If we want to have it always on, we would set it to 1 and the fan would run 100%. If we want to turn it off, we set it to 0 and the fan would be off, right? So 0%. But now imagine we want to have it running at half speed. What does it mean? We have to give it a PWM, so we pulse width modulation. We modulate the length of the pulse. So basically what we do is we turn it on and off really fast. So we turn it on, leave it on, turn it off, leave it off, turn it on, leave it on, and so on and so forth. Always the same time, and that results in a 50% time that the fan is on, and that means it was running at 50% speed. If we want to decrease or increase, we just extend or decrease the time it is on. So what does it mean? If we want to have it, for example, 25% on, we just put it on for half of the cycle, and then 3/4 it is off. 1/4 on, 3/4 off. And we have two controls here. First of all, how long is the cycle? So how long does one of these pulses is running? No, not running, but how long is one of these pulses? So we can say this pulse here has a time of 10 milliseconds, and that means 10 hertz, because 10 hertz, 10 milliseconds, 10 hertz, 100 hertz. In 1 second it will run 100 times, because one second has 1000 milliseconds. So 10 milliseconds results in 100 hertz. if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I understood it, right? So we can control these two parameters. In my case, we don't want to like make the hertz too high, because if you make it too high, this cycle is very short and the motor has no time to spin. Because if you, for example, turn it on and off really, really fast, it might not that the motor can react, because it is a bit slow, right? So you want to give it a bit time to give it a push and then stop it, give it a push and stop it. So you control basically the length of this cycle and the time of how long it is on in this cycle. So that's how PWM works. And how does it work with the MOSFET? So what I already explained, we have a MOSFET, and this MOSFET has 3 pins, right? And we have source, drain and gate. One of these pins is going to the ESP, and this one controls if it can flow through the other pins. Gate, so gate, source and drain. And we control with this one, if it is on, it will control that this flow is on. So basically that the power can flow through. So with that we control how long this cycle is. Why do we need that? Because as I said, the ESP is running on 3.3 volts and the fan is running on 9 to 12 volts. And that's why we need this option to turn it on really fast with this MOSFET. Why do we need a resistor in it? So we still have one resistor between the gate and the drain. Not entirely sure between what, but between the outer 2 pins basically. Why do we have it? Because if you turn it off here, it not turns off immediately. So it will still run here. This current will still flow, but we want to turn it off. That's why we have a resistor to pull it down again and open this. So this one then pulls a bit, like really, really tiny bit of voltage through, and that breaks this. And if we don't do that, this will just be too slow to do pulse width modulation. That's why we have a 10K resistor between the gate and the drain, as far as I'm not, between the gate and the drain or the gate and the source. Anyhow, doesn't matter, just the outer 2 pins. I have to look it up, but if you know it, let me know down in the comments, because I'm always forgetting it and I'm always confusing these. So MOSFET, really complicated for me, very helpful if you know what you're doing. Anyhow, this is the whole situation of how PWM work. Now that we know how PWM work, we can just put everything together, as I said, and the result will be quite some code that I will link down in the description, so you can check it out in GitHub, you can read about it, and happy to get some improvements, because it's my first iteration on it. It just works barely, and yeah, I will show you a video here how it is working. Some final debugging, and now it seems to work. The fan is slow, it spins slow, and the heating should be on. And if I rotate it to be colder, the fan speeds up. And it does. But we desire 32 degrees, since this is the optimal temperature for this tempeh, for this chickpea tempeh. So let's see how it goes. Temperature is already rising, and yeah, let's wait now. Maybe set a timer as well for like 48 hours, right? Ooh, that takes a while to spin. 1 day, 2 days. And it goes. So yeah, that's the whole project I wanted to show you that I'm currently working on. And if you have some suggestions how to make it better, or how to leverage the ESP better, for example, you could send an SMS when the fermentation is done. You could send alerts if the temperature drops too low, because my pad is not quite big. I would suggest you buying a bigger pad than I did, because it barely heats up this box, right? So this is way too big for a box for this small pad, so I will definitely upgrade this pad to a bigger one. And if everything is working, so I will do a few fermentation iterations. If everything is working, I will probably also upgrade to a printed circuit board, like everything a bit better than this crappy shit box put together with like holes drilled in the side. I may also insulate it to control the heat a bit better and keep the heat in. Yeah, and if you have some nice ideas how to leverage the ESP better, to send alerts or to give some notifications about the process or anything like that, happy to know. One interesting thing is that the fan, I have some minimum speed to the fan, so it will always run to keep the circulation of air running, because before I tried fermentation in the oven, didn't work well. That's why I hope that this fermentation in the box with some air circulation works better. The whole thing runs on USB-C. That was very important for me, because I like to just plug in USB-C and forget it. The only thing that you need to check before is, can your USB-C provide enough power, right? Can it output 12 volts or more to run the whole thing? End of story. I will keep you updated about the process, how it goes with the fermentation with my first iteration. I'm currently doing chickpea tempeh, just because chickpeas are very common in Germany. You can grow them here theoretically, so they are more local than overseas soybeans. Let's see how it turns out. If you have some good suggestions about tempeh, about chickpea tempeh, about some good recipes, have some nice ideas about the ESP and the usage, let me know down in the description. I am always happy to read your reviews or your comments. Would love to answer them. And with that, I wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you for watching and see you next time.